So this is going to be a little recap and kind of like a micro lecture on the NASDAQ and the longs that I've taken this week. So if I zoom in here, you'll see that this week has created this really nice run where we opened and just expanded back up above these relative equal highs. So what was my idea on the NASDAQ this week was the fact that we traded back down into this busy buy side imbalance, and the fact that we're moving back inside of the range. So what the range was, it's this candlesticks open, which is changing in state of delivery, right? Back to this candlesticks close, open, which is another change in state of delivery. So we basically have a daily range doing this candlesticks high, this candlesticks open and this candlesticks open, and we'll be figuring how that works. But I'm going to remove this one because I'm going to be focusing on this change in the state of delivery. So what's important here is that we have this and this. And if I go to the monthly, you can see that we've basically had an institutional order flow entry drill. Oops. So on the weekly, see it. So that is institutional order flow entry drill on monthly. I'll make the text a little small. Right, monthly institutional order flow entry drill, trading back below that low, and then we're also reaching for that and for that. So you can see. And then as soon as we reach down, we close very aggressively back inside of the range, which is this candlestick's high down to that candlestick's low, and we close below close above previous weekly low. So I'm going to be looking back all through this, and we'll see what this is on the daily chart. So basically weekly PD array. So this is what I'm doing when trying to capture the weekly range. So going from monthly PD array down to the weekly, down to the daily, down to the 1 hour. So this is going to be basically the time frame that I'm going to be referencing to, which is not the most important one. I can basically do this only. So weekly, but monthly is going to be very important in terms of where the banks are and where the institutional sponsorship is going to be resting. So weekly chart, daily, and then 1 hour for executions. So you're going to be choosing weekly discount PD array and pairing it up with daily premium array. Right? So this is the exact phenomenon we're looking for. And you're also, if you want to increase your probabilities, which is not going to be the must, but you're going to be looking at seasonal tendencies. I do refer to these once a month or maybe once a week, just checking in, and you'll see that this move run up is actually in line with the seasonal tendency. So we have that the weekly chart is moving from one discount level, and we'll see the daily chart moving to the premium level. And we have a seasonal tendency where it's bullish, right? We have closed back inside of the range, so I do anticipate that this candle is going to be an open low, forming the low of the week, and then high, which is going to be the expansion phase. So taking this to the daily, having this in mind. So what do we have? Change in the state of delivery right there on that candlestick's open. And then I'm looking back 20 days, which is going to be that standard month 5 IPTA data range looking back. So I'm basically just referring to that candlestick, right? So right there is going to be my look back, and then I can grade the swing right there. So from there to there, that's the gradient level, and you can see how we react off of it on Tuesday and basically move a little bit inside of the range. So what's important is that for these weekly range captures, we're going to have a very, very high probability chance trading Tuesday and Wednesday. But you can see that Tuesday already expanded, and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday didn't really do much, right? So There are some instances where the one shot, one kill will form on these 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and this week was one of them, right? So you can see that Monday opened, dropped lower, and traded right back up to this candlestick's opening price. So that's going to be an immediate rebalance, right? So after an immediate rebalance, what can I expect? I can expect that the next candle is really going to expand. So I can utilize that, and I'll pair it up with the already existing ideas, which is weekly discount PD rate that we're just hitting on Monday, pairing it with a daily premium rate, which is right above us, right there, and it's falling within that IPTA 20-day look back. And I'm at the time where seasonal tendency is bullish, right? So I'm just going to be waiting for time of day to align myself, which it doesn't need to be a macro. It can be that kill zones, right? So any between London and New York, you can be pairing yourself to go long, right? So you can see how reaction, drop, and there's the immediate rebalance. So look at that right there, then rally and close back inside of the range. So it is kind of like a classic expansion week, but you can also, I also refer to the 4 hour in some of the ways. So you can see that weekly candlestick, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, and candle 4 expanding. And on the 4 hour, what is that? That's just a consolidation, return back to the consolidation, distribution, redistribution, smart money reversal, low risk buy, first stage, second stage, and off to the races it is. So dropping to the 1 hour, and what was the idea? I've plotted this power of 3 indicator, but I'm going to remove it for now. You can see that we opened, so we have our new week opening gap, Sunday gap opening price. Between that, candlesticks close and then candlesticks open. I'm not going to annotate it. I don't want to keep the chart too busy. And I entered upon this change in state of delivery. So that was when it was validated. And I was basically entering a little bit early, which was a little bit shittier fill on my behalf, but it's fine. And then we rally. So now this also becomes a really, really nice entry. I pyramided upon this, but this is going to be a change in the state of delivery. This is going to be a continuation, rallying higher, and you can see that we drop down, trade to that. That's that weekly opening price, which is the order block, and then another one here. So this is going to be a fractal model, and you have high probability chance that this is going to stay the low of the day and essentially the low of the week. We rally, and then here in the Asia, which forms like an Asia reversal kind of model, you can see that we basically have another run higher and a swing here and another one here. So there is a chance to pyramid upon there and upon there, or if you haven't entered, there's a new entry upon there. But if I plot the weekly indicator, I will remove these 3 candles. I'm just going to add 2. Okay, so there's the candle. So I'm using midnight as opening price, but you can also use the 6 p.m. I think it doesn't really matter. But I like midnight, and we can see we rallied above, and at that entry point where I told you, that is forming around the midnight. So you're basically in the lower half of that wick, which is from there to there, basically entering within there. And then here is where I entered, also inside of the midnight below it, and inside of that weekly change in state. So rally and the terminus. So what I can do is, and I'm going to remove these. I don't want to keep the chart too busy, but I want to have that level to there. So basically your best one shot, one kill setup is going to be there. And then obviously you're not going to be pyramiding anything in this portion, right? So this is going to be your best ideal case scenario longs inside of this basically area, which is, you can see right around there. And also this one is also right around there. But then if I can also grade this one in quadrants, and you can see that the very, very sweet, nice setups are going to form from here down to there. Right, so basically grading the whole price swing from the high down to the low. I get a pretty nice run. So like I said, those two are my favorite ones that formed this week within the Nasdaq, and you can see that we've basically delivered that line from there to there. We almost hit that. Oh no, we did delivery. So pretty nice setup regarding from there to there. So that's pretty much it. So what PDRA did deliver the daily off of a weekly, grading that price swing. So that's a month 7 core content, pairing it up with a month 4 and month 5. So consolidation, expansion, reversal, retracement, expansion. And those would be your IPTA cycles. So that'll pretty much be it for this one. There's nothing much more for me to talk about, and I hope you enjoy this mini lecture framing that one shot, one kill. And this was basically a continuation on a one shot, one kill off of a little bit longer swing trading model. So yeah, that'll be pretty much it. And thank you guys for watching.